I'm seeing is a top three issues that SMEs really need to address when they So my name is Mary Murphy, and I'm from the company called Cork Privacy. We're based in Cork and Dublin, and we specialise in data protection, and we do nothing else, just data protection. So, we really know our stuff, and we pride ourselves on really knowing our stuff when it comes to data protection. All of our services is when we go into a customer, we can sit down and we can look at the areas where they're carrying very high risk. And we can say, look, these are the areas that we need to go and address with you first. But what it also does for our customers, so it really helps us deliver our services, but what it also does for our customers, we early on with GDPR, one of the things we were doing was we were going into a customer base and we were selling them the world of its mother, and we were helping them with these really advanced data protection solutions that they weren't ready for. And because the maturity model is based on levels of maturity and levels of progression that we bring our customers through, what it has done for our customers is it enables them to progress through their GDPR compliance program at a pace that suits the customer, and not at a pace that suits us or that we think needs to be there. So it's a very powerful tool for us to help us connect at the right level, at the right time, with the right solutions to our customers. And our whole service is built around that. That's not what I'm going to talk about this morning. That's just to give you a little bit of context about what we do. So just wondering how many of you are feeling a little bit like this when it comes to GDPR, because a year in, and it's a year and a week into GDPR, we're still seeing a lot of people hoping that it'll go away. And it's not going away, and you really do need to, if you have been a little bit ostrich-like with it, you do need to think about it, and you do need to face up to it at some stage. It's here, and it's here to stay. It's not as scary. It's not something that you need to put your head in the sand around. It is actually, once you start getting your head around it, it is easier than you would think. Once you understand what you've got to do, that's half the work done. So, just top 3 tips that I would have for SMEs. Obviously, we've got this maturity model framework. There's 10 areas in the maturity model framework that SMEs, that companies who process personal data as part of their business need to address and need to look at. But you've got to start somewhere. And where we would always advise SMEs to start is with your privacy statement. And I'm at this stage very practiced in reading privacy statements. If I engage with a company, the first thing I do is I go to their website and I look at their privacy statement. If I'm assessing a client, a company, an outsourced processor for one of our clients, the first thing I do is go to their website and look at their privacy statement. And I can tell, I can almost tell what a company's going to be like when I walk in the door from reading the privacy statement at this stage. And I'm not wrong very often. The privacy statement, first of all, I'll see privacy statements that use the term PII, which is not a term that's used in European data protection legislation. Odds are, and especially if you see American spelling, that privacy statement has been copied, and it's been copied from an American competitor's website. I've seen privacy statements where the data processing, and this is a real example, a data processor who processes data in my son's school, and when you look at their privacy statement, they talk about recruitment. They're not a recruitment firm. So the privacy statement bears no relationship to the company or what the company does. So the first thing to do is to build a privacy statement. Is to actually look at what data you have, what you do with that data, write it down, and then describe that back to your customers. And GDPR gives you a really good, it's actually not very many pieces of legislation that are readable, but GDPR Article 13 tells you what you have to tell your customers in your privacy statement. So you write down what you're doing with their data, and then you structure it along Article 13 and you tell it back to them. And that's something that No template can really give you, because you have to figure out what you're doing, and every company is different, and every company processes their data a little bit differently. We work a lot, for instance, in the credit union sector, and you would think that every credit union is the same. Every credit union is different, and every credit union we have to sit down with and write their privacy statement with them. So that's just the first tip for your privacy statement. First of all, don't copy it. Second of all, figure out what you actually do with the data and describe that back to your customers. So the second tip I have is to get your data processing agreements in place. And this is actually really, really important. And it's probably the most neglected thing that we see when we go into companies. Companies outsourcing data processing activities. So you're taking in somebody who's going to do something like handle your marketing activities for you. They're going to design your website and manage your website for you. You're going to have cloud storage. You're going to use various software tools that are cloud-based and managed in the cloud. You're going to have an independent auditor come in. You're going to outsource your HR. Lots and lots of outsourcing activities that companies do. And an awful lot of that is done on trust. And trust doesn't cut it when it comes to GDPR. You must have data processing agreements in place with these data processors. And those data processing agreements have to make sure that those processors are capable of processing your data in a safe way and in a compliant way. And if they don't, and something goes wrong, and you're investigated, you will be. The fines will be hitting you. Whereas if you do, and something goes wrong, and you're investigated, the fines will be hitting your suppliers. So it's something that will really have an actual impact back onto your business if you don't get this right. And we're starting to see the first GDPR fines come out across Europe at the moment. It's about, I think, 12 countries have started to issue fines. Our own data protection commissioner has said that she's going to start issuing fines from the summer, and she's also said they're going to be substantial. But one of the most interesting fines that came out recently was a fine on a web development company in Italy. And the web development company was fined €50,000 for failing to keep data safe and failing to manage that data properly on behalf of their customers. And the reason they got the fine was because their customers had done due diligence. They had a contract in place with that company, and the contract said, the web development company signed the contract to say that they were keeping that data safe and that they had technical and organizational measures in place in order to manage that data. And then they didn't do it, and they got a €50,000 fine for that. So it's just interesting to see, these are contracts or agreements that are going to keep your company safe when you're handing your customer data over to other people and asking them to take care of it for you. And then the last tip that I have is to get your employees aware of this. It's not actually as difficult as you think. Just to get a basic level of awareness of data protection around the organisation. And the reason I say this is because we obviously, data protection experts, we get called in when our clients have data breaches and they have to handle them. The first thing, get your transparency in place, get your privacy statement right, tell your customers what they're doing, what you're doing with their data. The second thing is make sure your data processing agreements are right. The third thing is make sure your employees know what they have to do. And then the bonus tip is don't underestimate what you have to do for this. So this isn't something that you do once and you stop and you walk away and forget about it. And we still have people coming up to us saying, oh, I remember the week of May 25th last year, it was very busy when we were getting ready for GDPR. Like, it's all over now. But if you are processing personal data as a part of your business, and if your business depends on that, don't get complacent about it. Don't underestimate that this is an ongoing thing. This is something that you have to keep to the forefront, particularly in terms of the processes and how you actually process the data. Less in terms of your privacy statement. needs to be updated. You need to make sure that it reflects what you actually do, but that's not an ongoing piece of work. But your day-to-day processing of personal data in your business, that is an ongoing piece of work, and don't underestimate it. And that's what you'll have, happy customers at the end of it all. And come and talk to us if you'd like to talk to us a bit more about what I've just said. We're at stand J1, which is just inside the front door. And thank you very much.